we're going to transition now and talk about the upcoming fall movie and television season. And I think, as we both have alluded to already, it's a typically very busy time, especially on the movie side of things. We know that a lot of Oscar baity films typically drop during this time period. There's certainly no shortage of tentpole films that will still come out through the course of the rest of the year. But then also it's a big time for TV. Obviously, a lot of network TV returns, a lot of new premieres, a lot of new seasons come back, both on network and streaming television. And so we're going to count down our top 10 most anticipated releases for the upcoming fall movie and television season. But before we dive into our picks and we talk about the things that we are most looking forward to, what's your outlook? Do you feel excited about the upcoming fall season? Do you think it's going to be great things ahead of of the next few months, or are you kind of feeling a little lackluster about everything that's sort of on the up and up in the outlook for the next couple of months?
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. I'm actually hella excited for the fall. I think the fall is about to cook. I really do. I think there's just some things in here that we're gonna talk about that's like, whoa. If they are able, if like 75% of these can deliver, it's gonna be a good fall. Cause yeah, it's just something about the landscape that feels good. And I think what's so interesting about it is there's always stuff we're like, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? And if the list that we have here is like, no, this looks like a really good list, and the stuff we don't know about hasn't happened yet. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a good fall, man. But again, it's me being optimistic, but I'm pretty ready for it.
In a surprising turn of events, I'm going to be optimistic as well. I'm actually excited for the fall, which a few months ago I would not have predicted, but as I was going through these releases and I was really thinking about it, I was like, oh, wait a second. A lot
Yeah.
of potential here. It all hedges on the fact whether or not these things deliver. But I would agree. I think if at least 3/4 of the things that I'm looking forward to can deliver and be either good to great, then we're going to be in really, really good shape on both sides of things, TV and film in particular. So I am looking forward to the fall, and I hope what happens is that there are a lot of surprises, because there are things here
Hmm.
that on the surface might not appear to be huge, or they might not appear to be the most attractive, or whatever the case may be, but they have a lot of upside, and I think that they have a lot of potential. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely excited for the next few months. So we'll do our top 10, and then after that, whatever's not included in our top 10, we're gonna just like run through all the other stuff and kind of give some thoughts and opinions about the rest of the big releases. But let's kick it off here, man. Let's start with your list. What's at your 10th spot for your most anticipated fall movie or television release?
All right. This is a movie that will be streaming. I am going to pick The Piano Lesson as my 10th spot, man. If you love plays, if you love anything about August Wilson as a playwright, as somebody who is just really good, this adaptation excites me a lot. Not only is Denzel Washington's kids helming the whole production, which is really funny to me. But like the cast is phenomenal. Danielle Deadweiler's in it, Samuel Jackson's in it, Ray Fisher's in it, like it's just the cast looks good. The production, I love the way the production feels. It looks like they are paying the a correct tribute to August Wilson in this work in The Piano Lesson, man. It just looks phenomenal to me, and I'm very excited to watch it. I think the only thing I am sad about is that it is coming out on Netflix, to be honest. Like, I wish this was a theatrical experience through and through. Like, I hate some people are going to have to experience this on their couches, but after seeing like The Color Purple, I'm like, dang, this couldn't be in the theater too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we only get one a year, you know what I'm saying? So it sucks that this is in the theater, but I'm pretty excited to watch this movie.
Yeah, I even wonder. I don't know this for certain. I even wonder if Netflix is going to do anything limited, because they sometimes they'll do like a very limited thing, like a week and in a very limited select amount of
Hmm.
theaters. But I wonder if that's even going to get this treatment. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well. And we did see about a scene or two back at the American Black Film Festival, and everything that we saw there, and just the way that Denzel was talking about it during his award ceremony. It got me really excited just to know that the care and the effort is being put into these August Wilson adaptations, and to know that it's going to be something that they certainly have all the best intentions and efforts behind it, and you have just a really incredibly talented cast. I mean, just some of the best, finest actors of their generation, being a part of this
Hmm.
film. It's something definitely to definitely be on, I think, people's list and on their upcoming watch list for anticipation. For my number 10 spot, I'm kicking it off with Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. This movie was a part of my most anticipated releases when we did it at the top of the year, and now we're just a few short weeks away from the release of it. This premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, if I'm not mistaken, and
Mhm.
the polarizing reception got me even more excited. I love when people cannot agree on some shit, when everything is just all over the place. That speaks to me because I'm like, yes, we have opinions. We have actual opinions and takes about the subject matter. And Francis Ford Coppola
Mhm.
has been working on this movie for decades, and it's a self-financed project. He basically used all the money from his wine company to finance this $120 million picture. Just crazy story, but it has an incredible cast.
Crazy.
Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, Lawrence Fishburne, Natalie Emanuel, Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf, so on and so forth. Just a lot of really, really talented people that I like a lot. And Francis Ford Coppola,
Mhm.
one of the greatest directors of all time. And he's made some of my most favorite movies. One of my literal favorite movies of all time is Apocalypse Now. The only, well, not the only, there's a couple of black eyes about this movie. And it's not the polarizing reactions. Francis Ford Coppola has a lot of accusations out against him right now. I'd be remiss to not mention that. A lot of disgusting claims have come out about his behavior on set with female extras. Doesn't sound great. Sounds like he might have been
Oh
doing some
Lord.
just some dirty, inappropriate stuff. Just for his sake, I hope that that's not the case, and for the sake of the women, I hope that that's not the case. I know one came out and like vehemently denied that he did anything wrong, but that's just not a great look, obviously, for an old man in his 80s to be groping or doing anything appropriate with women who were 50 years his junior. Not a good look. But secondly, they put out that trailer. I don't know if you saw it. They put out that second or third trailer a couple of weeks ago that included
Mhm.
fake quotes, made up quotes, to try to paint this narrative that critics have often gotten. They've often gotten their takes about his movies wrong. There were fake AI made up quotes about reactions to
Yep.
Apocalypse Now and The Godfather and all sorts of things. And
Yep.
somebody pointed it out, and they went and looked and researched. Rolling Stone and Roger Ebert, like, they didn't say that shit. This is made up. And now that just looks bad, because why are we creating this fake narrative to push a Francis Ford Coppola movie? Like, we don't have to do that now. Especially by utilizing AI technology. So not great stuff, heading into the film. It's likely
Mhm.
going to bomb at the box office. Let's just be frank about it. But I'm still excited about it. I think I might walk away really enjoying it and really appreciating what the vision is. But it's definitely going to be one of the more interesting watches that we have this coming summer, or this coming fall, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm very interested in that movie. Like you said, super divisive, but everything surrounded. I don't know. It's just so interesting. It's crazy when like certain movies have just so much happening, like in the background or even in the forefront. You're like, what is this, or what is going on? So I'm just excited to see it for all the reasons as you just said, man. It's kind of crazy to see how it's shaping up. So yeah, I'm also super excited to see
And
the
they're
movie.
putting it in
So we'll
IMAX
see.
too, which is kind of crazy. This definitely getting an
It
IMAX
is
release,
crazy.
which is not standard for something that's like largely an independent feature film. But that's also adding
Hmm.
a little bit of an extra flair around it, because it is like a huge epic, I think, scope of a story about like the fall of a civilization, the fall of America. So it'll be interesting to see if that also maybe helps the business with the film as well.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. Even Francis Ford Coppola, in my mind, it's like an IMAX movie. It's like, huh, okay, let's
He's
do
going
it.
for it.
I remember,
Yeah,
I remember when we watched Apocalypse Now in IMAX. We was like, what's going on
phenomenal.
here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just beautiful. But yeah, my number 9 spot. Man, I am this. This is a hard list for me, but I wish I had like 13 slots. It would have been perfect. Like 13 would have been perfect. 10 is so hard. My number 9 spot. I'm gonna go Transformers 1. I'm gonna go Transformers 1. Um, we're finally returning back to form. No more live action Michael Bay things and explosions. And uh, uh, again, it's so interesting because I actually do like that first Transformers movie with Shia LaBeouf. Like, it was really like near and dear to me. Like, I love the way it looks. I think it's a decent movie. But then over time, of course, things just fell off the hinges. Revenge of the Fallen is like, what are we doing? Dark Side of the Moon, what are we like? It all was just like, whoa, we're doing too much. This one feels like we're returning to form. This one feels like we're getting back to what Transformers is supposed to be, and that's what animation is, and that's animation. And I'm excited to see all the characters come back and all the voice actors be a part of this thing, and for them to tell a story that's not confounded by it having to be live action. I think that's really cool. I think the voice cast is really cool. Yeah, and I'm just excited to watch it. I think it'll be different than all the other Transformers stuff that we've been getting over the years. And yeah, I am actually excited for this one. I am.
Yeah, I really hope this nails it. I really, really do.
I really
I mean,
do.
yeah, to go back to what brought them to the dance to begin with, feels like it's almost 10 years too late, but better late than never at this point. And I like the animation style. I like what we've seen out of the trailers. The voice cast is really fun as well. So all good things wrapped around what this could be. But I think, yeah, it might be refreshing to sort of get away from some of the, I guess, some of the stink of those live action movies, because yeah, by and large, like 90% of those movies do not work for me. And the
Hmm.
other 10% is like moments that happen within the movies where I'm like, oh, we're going, okay, all right, that was enough. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to Transformers 1. Hopefully they can certainly return to form. Number 9 on my list, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago around Apple, and that's Wolves, starring George Clooney and Brad Pitt, who are currently just taking over the Venice Film Festival right now. I mean, they have just been all over my timeline with their paparazzi photos, their red carpet stuff, Brad Pitt's new girlfriend that he has on his shoulder. Lots of stuff going on. They're promoting this movie actively just by sheer force of their star power, because
Yeah,
Apple has relegated this to just being pretty much a streaming only release when it was going to initially have a full theatrical release. But that being said, still looking forward to it. George Clooney and Brad Pitt, they're going to be professional fixers, who run into each other, and they ultimately have to work together. So it's an odd pairing, an odd couple sort of pairing. But these two have obviously done the Ocean's trilogy before. I mean, two of my favorite actors coming together. And also it's directed by John Watts, who is returning to do an original story after being attached to the Spider-Man films for so long. And look, his three
yeah,
Spider-Man movies are really, really good. But before that,
they
what
are.
got him to the dance was Cop Car, a really, really great small scale story. That's really what made Marvel interested in him. That's a solid movie, and so I'm glad to see him get back to doing something more original, especially with just two stars of this caliber. He's going to be really, really busy, because he's also like an executive producer on Skeleton Crew, so he was behind that as well. So he's just been all over the place. But yeah, can't wait for Wolves. I'm going to see it in the theater wherever the theater options are. I certainly plan to have my butt seated in a movie theater to watch this before it rolls out on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be just a fun watch, man. Like I said, George Clooney and Brad Pitt. More movies with movie stars who want to work with other movie stars. Let's keep doing it
Yep.
because hey, it's fun to watch too. It's like, oh man, how did it's like sometimes we don't do enough permutations anymore. I feel like we used to do more permutations of movie stars being in the movies with each other. I really want us to get kind of back to that, but I guess for that to happen, we need more movie stars again. So
Also
yeah, I don't
true.
know.
We have kind of, yeah, we've kind of lacked off on the development of new movie stars. We only have a handful, I guess, at this point. So yeah,
Right, and they're all in Dune. How about that? That
they've
was
done it. They have worked together
they've done
already.
it. They
Can we just
already
get
did
those four and just like put them in every genre? Like they just all four do a rom com. They all just four do another fucking
it.
action movie and sci-fi. Maybe adapt a book down the. I mean, they can just like rotate
Hey,
at this point,
yeah, it's at least like 10 bangers just waiting for them, waiting to
pretty much.
happen. It's yeah, they got their own universe at that point. Love to see it. My number 8 spot, I'm gonna go with animation again here. The Lord of the Rings, the War of I don't even know how to say it. War Realm,
Rohirrim.
Rohirrim.
Mm-hmm.
Just off the strength on the way it looks, I want to watch it right now. It looks so good to me. Like the animation has so many amazing influences that like it just blows my mind. Like I probably watched the trailer like 20 times and I watched it like on mute a couple times just to like dang, this thing looks so good. Animation is a hard thing to pull off, man, and the way that looks, it's so anime inspired. And I talked recently on the podcast about this anime called Vinland Saga. It gives Vinland Saga very much that time. It just looks fantastic. I can't wait to see what happens. And to be honest, I think the only worry would be what is the story. That's it. And if they get that right, I'm good because I know it looks fantastic. You already showed me it's gonna look good, and I'm gonna be in awe. If the story is good, I'm all here for it, man. I'm really excited to watch it. We haven't seen Lord of the Rings in this way in a very long time, in terms of animation. So yeah, I'm excited to watch
Yeah,
it.
it's crazy. Like the last animated Lord of the Rings feature film came out in the fucking 70s. It's
A
so
long
long
time
ago. I
ago.
remember watching that
Yeah.
in like elementary school. That's how I was introduced to Lord of the
Mhm.
Rings, that like 70-minute animation movie where it's like, this is way too short to adapt this fucking story. Like, That's
Right.
all we're
There's no
getting.
way.
But it's like one of those like childhood memories that I'll always hold. And so yeah, the War of Rohirrim, when this comes out, yeah, I think that this has again very high upside, very great potential to be something that just catches people off guard, that can really, I think, win people over because look, the Rings of Power, it's just occupying a totally different space at this point. Like maybe a lot of people do watch it, but there doesn't feel like to be, I think, a sense of, I guess just a sense of enthusiasm around that show. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of existing at this point. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that this new animation, this new animated feature film can get people excited about this particular IP and this particular property again, especially considering that they are going to make more live action ones on the theatrical side of things in the near future. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well. The next thing on my list is Ridley Scott's Gladiator II. Um, now, this film can possibly be one of the biggest fuck ups of all time. Like it has all the
It
room and the
could.
space to just be such a massive letdown. Do we need another Gladiator movie? Absolutely not. We do not. There's no justification for it whatsoever. I don't care what story he's trying to tell. But that being said, it's still Ridley Scott. It's still one of the most talented directors working today, one of the greatest of all time,
Mm-hmm.
coming back to this world that he created, that he brought to life in the original 2000 film, one of the best films of the 21st century. And coming back here with a really, really great cast. We've already gotten the trailer, which has caused controversy, but also giving us some good insight and some good looks towards it. I just want to see Denzel have fun. I want to see Paul Mescal continue to become a star. I want to see Pedro Pascal just continue to rule the world and dominate in everything that he does. Has a lot of ingredients to be good. It's going to be epic. It's massive. It's expensive. Hopefully, it's just not a train wreck. That's all I'm hoping for at this point. Hopefully, it can at least be a decent movie. Like, if it's just a 3-star movie, I'll be good with that. Like, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Anything less than that, I'm going to be really, really scratching my head. Like, Ridley, why did we do this? Why did you touch this? But I'm hoping that we get something that's at least decent.
What's so funny about this is Ridley Scott sent that letter to Fede Alvarez before Alien Romulus came out, and he was like, "Don't fuck up." And it's funny because if I was Fede Alvarez, I'm sending a letter right back, like, "All right, you better not fuck up." But man, this is also on my list. It's like I think I have like 6 on my list. Very, very excited as well for Gladiator 2. Man, it is. The first Gladiator is one of my favorite movies. It came out in a time where I think I was like discovering what film is or what it could be, and so it's just one of those ones that mean a lot to me. But like you said, there's a lot of room for this to fuck up, but it's also a lot of room for it to be a really cool fall blockbuster. You know what I mean? Like a big, like you said, big actiony kind of thing that a lot of people go see and they enjoy, and that's really all I'm hoping. Like you said, it doesn't have to also doesn't have to blow my socks off, but I do need it to be decent. Just give me something decent. But if Denzel came out and was like, "This is the greatest performance of my life," I'm okay with that too. You know what I'm saying? I think the ceiling could be higher than we think it is. But we'll just have to see, man. But yeah, really excited for Gladiator 2 as well,
Do you know that this is coming out the same day as Wicked?
which is
So how's that gonna work?
nuts.
What's that?
I'm
What's that gonna look like?
I don't. I think this is another one of them like block or another one of those is not going to do great in the box office.
It
Things.
can't. This is not
Because Wicked is finna go
stupid. Yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous.
to the moon.
So,
Yeah, Wicked finna go to the moon. So I don't know what they're gonna do about this, but we're gonna have to see.
not a Barbenheimer situation here. I
Nope,
don't even.
it's
What
not.
would this? Is it gladiate? I'm trying to combine these two. I don't know if it'll work. Wicked-nator? Yeah, that's what the Wicked-iator. I don't. It does not roll off the tongue, which means they should probably rethink this release strategy. That's not going to spell good things for Gladiator 2 because it's like only guys in their 30s are showing up for Gladiator 2. Like the women, the family, the kids, they're showing up for Wicked, and like the 20 years of people who've seen that Broadway for multiple generations. And so yeah, maybe it'll leg out. I don't know, but it has to be a really good movie in order to do that. But yeah, we'll certainly see. But let's keep moving. What's next on your list?
My number 7 spot is a TV show. I am going to go with Dune Prophecy here. I of course love the Dune franchise. I love those movies. And I think if they can capture any of the essence that they've gotten from those movies with Denis Villeneuve's direction, right, I think we'll be looking at a really interesting TV show. yeah, I think that they have the story, right? They have the source material. Now it's all about adaptation and adding your new things and seeing the ins and outs. I think it could be really cool if they do it right. There's just so much Dune things coming out. Also, just seeing from the video game world, Dune Awakening finally got announced for the beginning of next year. And it's like, if y'all keep cooking this, like y'all just keep cooking. Don't mess nothing up. Take your time. But I think again, under Denis Villeneuve's gaze and under his direction, they can make a really good TV show with Dune Prophecy. I'm excited for it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm super skeptical about this TV show. I am
Mm-hmm.
so hesitant to be excited for it. I know it's a HBO production. I know it's set within the Dune world. I know Denis Villeneuve has had some hands on the project, but firstly, there have been so many production issues with this show. It's been
That's true.
delayed so many times for so many years, and so it was certainly a troubled production. But for me personally, even more importantly, in general,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not here for the streamingfication of big theatrical tentpole movies and franchises. I'm just not here for that shit anymore. Marvel has burned me too many times. Star Wars has burned me too many times. I'm just not
You're
here for
right.
this shit. Like taking what works in theaters and works so extraordinarily well and then transferring it to a streaming service. And this is doing something that I feel like is kind of unnecessary in expanding
Mm-hmm.
the scope of the Dune legend and the lore and the mythology. It's damn near a miracle that the two movies we've gotten have been so incredibly amazing as they are. That like they've already tried to
You got
adapt
lucky.
Dune like 7 times before and it really didn't work. And so that's a miracle in
Yeah.
and of itself. But then the fact that it's a commercial hit on top of that, right? Like the fact that it's like
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest things now, far beyond I think anybody's imagination and dreams could have taken them for what Dune could have been. And now that we're doing a TV show, I don't know. Now I hope it's great. I hope it surprises me. I hope it's like the best thing in the fall. Maybe a ton of Emmys, come from it. That's like the best case scenario. But I
Mm-hmm.
will say I am skeptical of what Doom Prophecy might entail when it drops later this year. I'm gonna do my next two together just because they are somewhat related in terms of they feature the same lead actress. And the next two are feature films, and that's Blitz from director Steve McQueen,
Mm-hmm.
and then also The Outrun, which is another movie starring Saoirse Ronan. So both of these movies will be starring Saoirse Ronan, who is, I think, quite possibly the greatest actor of her generation. She is just such a talent, so extraordinary. And these two films I'm incredibly excited about. First of all, Blitz, Steve McQueen. I briefly mentioned it a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Apple. This is a World War II drama that's going to follow her, and this is his first theatrical feature film that'll be releasing since Widows came out in 2018. He of course did Small
Mm.
Acts with Prime Video, that series of short films, but that
Yep.
was a streaming only release. I do believe that Blitz will get a limited theatrical release just because of the budget and because Saoirse Ronan does have a bit of star power behind her, and Steve McQueen is a very, very prestigious director. He's incredible. He's just telling incredible stories, really human stories, and I'm just super excited for that aspect. And then The Outrun is this movie from Nora Fingscheid, which is going to be based off of a memoir starring Saoirse Ronan as a young woman who's just recently out of rehab. She's recovering from alcoholism. And this just sounds like a very small, intimate drama, a character study. And again, just based off of Saoirse Ronan alone, that's why I'm just super
Mm-hmm.
excited about these. She's done a couple of things in the past few years. Like I know she was in a movie last year with Paul Mescal on Prime Video that didn't do well at all. I think a lot of people did not like that
Mm-hmm.
movie. Before that, we talked about her and See How They Run, that
See
big
how they
ensemble
run. Yeah.
piece, which was okay, but I want her to get back to like the powerhouse actress that she is, where she just comes on screen and commands every fucking minute and moment of when she's on screen. She's just so phenomenal. She's just in a different stratosphere to me, and so that's why I'm just super excited for both of these movies.
No, you're right. She is, like you said, definitely one of the best actors of her generation. She's so good. I can't wait to watch those either, man. Outrun and Blitz is like, wow. And then even just thinking about Steve McQueen, like, what you about to get Saoirse Ronan? Like, I don't. That's not something like in my head that would ever happen. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Who's working with who? Crazy. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how that plays out. For sure. I guess I can do my next two. I kind of already talked about Gladiator. Gladiator is in my sixth spot. Number five is The Wild Robot.
Mm-hmm.
I Love this
It's a good
trailer.
pick.
There's no dialogue. It's DreamWorks, which DreamWorks is they ramping back up. They trying to they holding it, they like holding it in a little bit, but also DreamWorks is like, oh, Pixar's doing what right now? All right, bet, hold my beer. Like they about to come back with some shit, man. And I think the Wild Robot is a good example of that. It looks so good to me. It's so artistic. I love the premise of this robot just getting lost in the wilderness, and it's like a mix between something that's futuristic with counteracting something completely different with nature, but also now there's like this little duckling that he has to take care of. It's crazy. How is something so technological know how to take care of a duck in the wild? I don't know. There's just a lot of ideas already spoken to me through the trailer that's like I can't even imagine what the everything that the movie is about to try to say to us. This is going to be a mix between what technology means for us in the future, what environmentalism, all of that, like just climate change. I'm just really excited to watch that movie. And again, it excited me that there was no dialogue. The music was already fantastic in the 2 minutes that we got. So I'm like, there's songs I ain't heard yet. I'm just, yeah, this movie just looks super, super, super good to me. It's like, it reminds me of to be honest, like an old Pixar trailer. Like, whoa, what is this? Like, what is like that awe and wonder is kind of there. So yeah, the Wild Robot. I think DreamWorks, if they do this right, they're finna cook. They're finna cook. This might be one of those. All right, Inside Out. We knocking on the door. You might have some competition. We'll have to see. Of course, they're saying a lot already, but it looks good to me.
No, the trailer is it's great. It's really really great, and I think DreamWorks, they are in need of a new original film that takes off.
Mm-hmm.
Their franchises are as healthy as they can be. Their franchises always do well. Kung Fu Panda obviously has done phenomenal this year. The Shrek films will
Yeah.
continue to pump out loads and loads of money. Even the what are the movies, the singing movies with the
Trolls.
trolls? Yeah, those movies are still like performing very very
Yeah.
well. But I think it's time
Mm-hmm.
for them to have a new hit on their hands. And the Wild Robot, just based off of how it looks and how it feels, this can be like another just like really really quality animated film that people aren't necessarily checking for, but if there's really good word of mouth and just good reception for it, I think it can be a surprise hit and really take people and capture their imaginations. Because I mean, from an animated standpoint, the fall until we get to like November with Moana, of course, and then eventually Lion King,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little empty, you know. I think in terms of just like films that families will go to see. I think that they'll be
Yeah.
waiting and yearning for something to take their kids to, and this could definitely fill that spot. So I'm looking forward to it as well. Next on my list is one of two TV shows that I do have. This is a movie heavy list for me, no surprise, but one of two TV shows. And number 5 for me is Disclaimer. This is the brand new
Mm.
Apple TV series starring Kate Blanchett from creator and director Alfonso Cuarón. What more do I need to say? That's
That's it.
really it. You
That's
have
it. That's the end of the.
literally one of the greatest actresses of not only her generation but really of the 20th or 21st century, with one of the most talented visionary filmmakers of the past 30 plus years. I'm so excited for this show. Apple TV Plus, as we often allude to on this podcast, they do produce quality television. They produce some really, really great quality television for the most part. This is going to be a psychological thriller sort of miniseries about a documentary journalist who discovers that she's this prominent character in a novel, and it reveals the secret that she tries to keep hidden. Not much has been said about what that is. Haven't seen any promotional materials for it. I do know that they just premiered the first 2 episodes at the Venice Film Festival, which has been happening. Really, really great response there. No surprise, but Alfonso Cuarón, we've not seen him do something since Roma in 2018. So it's been a long time. We know he likes to take off a long time in between projects. He takes his sweet
He
time,
does.
and we're always for the better for it. I mean, everything he's put out, you know, obviously most people probably know him because of Harry Potter, but let's not forget Gravity or Children of Men or E2 Mama
Okay.
Tambien, just really phenomenal films
Okay.
and works. And so him teaming up with Kate Blanchett, this is what I need. This is what I need for the fall, and I certainly need her to rebound after what just happened with Borderlands. Like, let's get her back.
Oh
Let's
my
get her back
God.
on track for who we know her to be. And of course, that was probably something she just did for fun, and you know all that stuff. She probably expected and thought more of it, but this is where I want to see her. I want to see her in this world and just really dealing with this more mature subject matter. So I'm incredibly, incredibly excited for this TV series.
Yeah, I forgot about this. But everything, all the pieces, I'm very excited about. Like you said, one of the best visionary filmmakers. Boy, Alfonso Cuarón is so good, bro. And then with she might be my favorite actress. I've been weighing in and out, but I really like Kate Blanchett. She is. I like
True
her
goat for
a lot.
real.
A true goat. Like anytime I see her, I'm like, yes, let's do more of that. Where is this at? But yeah, super, bro. You just blew my mind. I'm like over here, like, yeah, disclaimer should have been on my list. Nah, yeah, I can't wait to check that out as well. My number 4 spot. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a TV show in here too. Very simple, very obvious. The Penguin is gonna go right here. Yeah, I almost don't feel like we need to go. We need to say much of anything. Go listen to our Batman episode of Two Black Nerds. Yeah, everything about this show was just shaping up to again just still feel good with everything that we've seen a snippet from in the Batman 2022 film. Man, it looks good. The villain we just got looks good. It just everything about it just gives me television show done correctly and under HBO at that. So super excited for the Penguin. Yeah, and I'm still rooting for it and hoping they give us something good. It just got confirmed. In case you didn't know that the Batman wouldn't be in the Penguin, I feel like most of us already knew that, but they had to confirm it for people who might not have known he's not going to be in that series. So yeah, that's my 4th spot, man.
Yeah, the Penguin. I am excited for it. I will say my statement I said like 10 minutes ago still stands. Streamingfication of theatrical tempo
Yeah,
properties.
streamification.
Not
Mm-hmm.
really here for it, but will make an exception occasionally for something. And Batman is always going to be an exception for me. I can't wait for this. Just Colin Farrell in that makeup
Colin
as Oswald
Farrell.
Cobblepot, done properly, done the right way, done within the world that Matt Reeves has created. All great things lie ahead. I think that this is going to be a super solid show. I hope it can even go above and beyond expectations. Like I'm expecting it to be solid, but I do hope that it can be even
Mm-hmm.
great. It can be considered like a true quality prestigious television show, like maybe even get Emmy consideration and be strongly considered for best TV
Mm.
shows of the year. That's what could lie ahead for it. I don't know if that'll be the case. Like it is, I guess, somewhat of a genre show to a certain extent based off of
Mm-hmm.
really well known IP, but that doesn't limit it. We've seen other genre shows excel above and beyond what we would traditionally associate with, like, oh, this is like IP driven, like The Last of Us. Like that was one of the biggest critical hits of the year that it came out, and hopefully the Penguin can catch us by surprise. So I can't wait till it comes around and that we can talk about that show in depth. I did leave it off my list though. I did not include it here,
Mm-hmm.
just because of like certain hesitations, but still very
I
excited
get it.
for it. The next thing on my list is this year's Palme d'Or winner from the Cannes Film Festival, and that's Anora. It's going to be coming out in a few weeks here. This is the new movie from director Sean Baker, who previously directed Red Rocket, really solid movie that came out a couple of years ago, but more importantly for me, directed The Florida Project, which is one of my favorite movies of the
Mm-hmm.
2010s. Very, very talented young filmmaker, fresh voice, doing very interesting stories time and time again. And this won the Palme d'Or, as I mentioned. It's starring Mikey Madison, very, very talented young actress. She's playing a stripper from Brighton Beach, and I think it's basically following her and just her experience with different clients and how she runs into very, very tumultuous situations and very profane situations and almost like this new fairy tale world that she gets taken into. It just looks really exciting. The trailer is really, really good. It's got a lot of conversation around it. It's distributed by Neon. They have great taste, obviously. It just has all of the
Mm-hmm.
ingredients to I think possibly be one of my potential favorite movies of the year. So when October rolls
Yeah,
around, I'm very, very excited for what this looks like, and I can't wait to see Mikey Madison like break through. I've been waiting to see more of her ever since we saw her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was amazing for the short time that she was in that movie. She was
she was.
incredible. Incredible. The last act does not work without her. And that's saying a lot when you're standing next to Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. But it doesn't work without her and what she had to do in that performance. And so I'm incredibly excited to see what she can do here. And hopefully this can be a breakthrough for her in which more people discover her.
Yeah, Nora looks so good. I remember just seeing that trailer. I was like, "Ooh, what is this?" Then I seen Sean Baker. I was like, "Oh yeah, no, watch this movie like immediately. I'm very excited to see it, man. Like you said, Mikey Madison, she's good. And so I know she's definitely gonna bring it in that film too. And with the Sean Baker, again, the permutations, man. I just love seeing it's like good actor, good director. Let's do it. Let's keep doing it over and over, put them together. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that movie turns out. My number 3 spot, another television show. You should not be surprised to hear me say this. Arcane season 2. Oh my goodness. I can't even put into words, to be honest, how excited I am for this. In fact, you'll see my 1 and 2. There's a reason that these are the only other 2 that could be above this, because I'm very excited for Arcane season 2, man. Arcane season 1 was everything I needed it to be. I've been a League of Legends fan since 2012, and to see how that story can not only come and give people a visual and on Netflix, but you don't even have to play the games. You don't have to care about anything happening in the video game world to love and appreciate Arcane for what it is. The animation is beautiful. The voice acting is beautiful. Shout out to Ella Purnell, who plays Jinx as well. She was just in Fallout, really cool. But man, it just has the potential to continue just a beautiful and both tragic story that's just really good. Again, everything about it is dope, man. And still, it only accents it that if you play the games, you're like, wow, I also play League of Legends, and I get that, and that it's just really dope, man. They did something that I didn't think it was actually possible, and they did it. So very excited for Arcane season 2. Hopefully, it's another banger as much as season 1 was. I mean, they coming out with physical releases of season 1 of Arcane. That says a lot. It's on Netflix. Netflix does not be out here doing physical releases. Never, you know what I'm saying?
Never.
So never. That's how big Arcane season 1 was. And so yeah, I'm really excited for season 2, and yeah, man, it's up there.
No, Arcane is phenomenal. I'm very excited to rewatch season 1 since it's been a couple of years. I'm definitely going to dive into a rewatch of season 1 because boy, it was special. It was really, really special when it came out. Caught me by so much surprise because I was not really in tune with League of Legends at all. I knew a little bit about it, but to dive into this world was just incredibly special. So yeah, I think that this is going to be one of the best TV shows of the year. If it's everything season 1 was, I think it'll be in the top 10 easily. So very, very much looking forward to that one. The next thing on my list is, I guess it's a TV series, but it's probably more appropriately considered a docu-series. And it was just recently announced. And that's the Mr. McMahon docuseries. It's going to be coming out on Netflix.
Oh, no.
I am so ready for this. I am ready to burn the fucking house down on Vince McMahon, the former owner, chairman, CEO of WWE, the man, the visionary who brought professional wrestling into the mainstream. I don't have to sing his praises. If you know Vince McMahon, you know his accolades. You know he is one of the greatest minds, if not the greatest mind, to ever come across professional wrestling. He changed it in every way possible, every way imaginable. He made it mainstream. He made it commercial. Mm-hmm. Wrestling would not be what it is today. It would not be the thing that we actively enjoy if it weren't for him. You know, we wouldn't be talking about WrestleMania and these huge events and them taking over these international territories. You know, they were just in Berlin, Germany this past weekend, had their highest grossing arena show in company history. They're now a multi-billion-dollar company. They have the $5 billion Netflix deal that's about to kick off. None of that would be possible without what Vince McMahon did to the industry. That can never be taken away from him. He is truly a visionary, a great mind. But as we know, past couple of years, he also turns out to be a pervert and a terrible human being and a very, very gross individual, if you are to believe the accusations that have been thrown against him, which I don't know if you follow the Mr. McMahon character on TV. Not too hard to believe, if we're going to be honest here. And this documentary got announced initially in 2020. They've been working on it for 4 years, and they had to go back and revisit the story about this documentary multiple times over because of just the nature of everything that's happened in the past 2 years alone. Everything has changed. To start off just being like an examination of his life and his genius, and it turned into like, oh, well, there's kind of a dichotomy here. There's the visionary, the person who's just a genius behind the scenes who brought the industry to where it's at. And there's this really sinister underbelly and things that he's done that are just like very disgusting and heinous that we've learned about over the course of the past couple of years, ultimately leading to his ousting. Well, not his ousting, but I guess his resignation from WWE at this point in this ongoing lawsuit. I can't wait. Bill Simmons is behind it. He created 30 for 30. He did the Andre the Giant documentary for HBO a few years ago. He knows what he's doing with documentaries. WWE is not involved, and that's important. I think that that's the best thing possible. You need impartiality for this type of story. I know Vince is in the documentary. He was interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was interviewed ever since he resigned, but they're going to have to continue with that, and they're going to have to continue with whoever else is featured. I can't wait till they release a trailer and we see who participated in this documentary, because oh my god, whoever sat down to do interviews about Vince, it's going to be interesting. It's going to capture the professional wrestling world when it comes out, and I definitely want us to talk about it in detail when it does come out on Netflix. So I'm super excited for when it drops next month on Netflix.
No, I'm excited for it too, man. It's gonna be so messy. It's gonna be so messy, man. Everybody's gonna be, because there have just been so many interviews, I think, over the years on different platforms, podcasts, wrestling, whatever, outlets, and people are just doing interviews like, yeah, I didn't want to do this storyline, but I had to, or I came to Vince with this thing and he said this, and I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be crazy. So yeah, Mr. McMahon is gonna. This is it. This is how we wrap him up in a bow and send him off to hell. To be honest, this is how it goes. But yeah, I am really excited to watch this, and I think any wrestling fan is. But to be honest, if you just know about wrestling, I think you should watch it. Like, I think this is still something that you just go ahead and see what was going on, because I think it'll be interesting to you.
Yeah, messy, but also complicated too. Just because, I mean, he's done so much, right? Like, I mean, none of the things we enjoy, we would be able to enjoy if it weren't for his mind, and that but that makes for the most interesting stuff, right? Like when we look at these really, really complex individuals who gave us so much, but also, again, they just turn out to just be the worst, underneath all of that. And how do you deal with that? How do you wrestle with those ideas? And wrestling is the one thing, just like, honestly, frankly, as a lifelong wrestling fan, we don't address this shit enough. Like, too often these things get swept under the rug. I'm not going to call anybody out, but I don't know. You might have seen the press conference from Bash Berlin, and stuff got brought up, and people don't address these things properly. And now might be the time to really unpack this shit, and maybe this documentary, this docuseries can be the conduit to create that conversation that I think needs to happen, to address even beyond the most egregious shit that we've learned about. To your point, the smaller things over the years, like you say, certain character depictions and things that people felt like they were forced to do and they couldn't speak up about on camera. Like, we've seen a lot of weird shit get resurfaced from previous storylines, previous depictions, stereotypes. I mean, all sorts of shit. So, as Black wrestling fans, I mean, it's really tough for us. Like, it's hard to be a wrestling fan when you're Black, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna truck through it, and we definitely gonna check this out when it comes out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Can't wait to talk about it. My number 2 spot. It's going to surprise some people. It's going to not surprise some other people. But boy, let me tell you how excited I am about this movie. My number 2 spot is Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Oh, you're going for it.
Oh, I'm going for it.
Okay.
They doing something. They doing something here to my soul. We know 1 was decent. We know 2, it is what it is. But 3, hey, Shadow is here. Hey, yo, they might be cooking. They might just be cooking. It's a really good trailer. If you haven't seen it, by the way, watch the trailer. But Sonic the Hedgehog 3, man, is like everything that a lot of us that grew up with Sonic was waiting on. I think is the shadow of it all. Is Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic are finally together from the beginning of the movie, and it's like, okay, here are the 3 buddies. Now they got to go against Shadow, whatever Dr. Robotnik got going on. I don't know. It's like the Sonic adventure I had been waiting on, and 1 and 2 felt like, okay, we got to go through this stuff in order to get here. This low-key feels like the first one. This is like, oh shoot, Sonic has now arrived. So I'm super excited for this. This is, if you play Sonic Adventure 2, this is for you. This is for all those kids ready to hear Shadow say Chaos Control or any of it. This is the one. So I'm hella excited for this movie. It looks good to me. I love that Shadow's here. I love that Knuckles is part of the crew now, finally and for sure. I'm excited. I can't lie to you. The child in me is just elated to watch this movie, and that's why it's so high. It could be bad, but I'm excited to watch it regardless.
It could, both of the first two films are decent movies. I think that
They
they
are
they
decent
do
movies.
well at adapting that world and that source material. And yeah, this one is like finally just throwing all of the toys in the sandbox. Like, here you go. Y'all have been with us. They built some really good foundational pieces in those first two.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can just like really let loose and have fun. Jim Carrey's coming back. I love that. That he is returning. He's not retiring, quote unquote, just yet. This is like the one thing that'll get him out of bed. So I'm glad to see that. But yeah, Shadow, Knuckles. I still want to watch that show too, that they put out. I still haven't
Oh yeah,
seen
me
it,
too.
so hopefully I can get to that
Paramount
before
joint.
the movie comes out. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, Sonic and this can also be huge too. Like, the movies have done well at the box office. They've done really well. This one might be like the biggest one so far.
Oh, we popping
And
out. Oh, we popping
I
out.
think
Yeah.
because it's coming out during the holiday season, that's also like very strategic on their part. So many movies get seen during the holiday season. There's a lot of stuff coming out around that time. Of course, Mufasa and other things, but I still think it can perform exceptionally well because it's going to find its audience, especially the people that have been tapped in with this IP for generations. Because now we're finally diving in. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I think it'll be pretty decent. My next one, number 2 on my list, is Saturday Night. This is the brand new Jason Reitman feature film that is
Mm-hmm,
about
mm-hmm.
the opening night of Saturday Night Live, the iconic sketch sitcom series that's been on the air for almost 50 years, of course. And this is really just revolving around the dramatic recreation of the 90 minutes leading up to the moment that Saturday Night Live first premiered on NBC and pretty much changed the course of television history and comedy history for the next half century. And this trailer that they put out a couple of weeks ago is electric. It's an incredible trailer. It
It
just premiered at
is.
the Venice Film Festival. Very, very positive feedback there. And the cast, I love the cast. It has some of the most impressive young actors that we've been following that I can't wait to see. Gabriel LaBelle is playing Lorne Michaels. He was the lead in The Fabelmans, was great in that. He's going to be the lead in this. Who gets to say they can play Steven Spielberg and Lorne Michaels in their lifetime? Like, that's a crazy thing to say, like, oh, I achieved that in my 20s. But this movie also has Rachel Sennett. I love Rachel Sennett. She's so good. Everything I see her in, I really love
She
her.
is.
Dylan O'Brien, Lamorne Morris, Finn Wolfhard is in this movie, and even some of my favorite legends like Willem Dafoe and J.K. Simmons are a part of this huge ensemble cast. It just looks chaotic. It looks wild, all over the place. So much kinetic energy. I'm sure it's going to be funny. It's going to be outrageous. It's going to have a lot of what the fuck moments because it's going to be sort of a minute by minute breakdown of just all the chaos leading up until the premiere of this really iconic
Yeah.
TV series that we've been living with that was produced by a bunch of 20 and young 30-year-olds, like people who had no clue what the fuck they were doing and probably had way too
Mm-hmm.
much power. But that's the 70s, folks. And so, yeah, I love this type of stuff. I love when we can really focus in on just a moment in history around something so iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just focus in on like this is the Super Bowl for them, and the fact that we could just follow this, and it's going to be, I think, one of the most sort of surprising releases, and maybe one of the most talked about releases, especially as we approach the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. I'm very much excited about what this movie's gonna entail.
Yeah. It looks so it looks so cool to me. I love, like you said, I love like the one night anything is like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And what does that look like? And what is the pandemonium giving us? And the cast is crazy. You already said everybody, but like, wow, like I almost can't believe, like, dang, y'all really got all these people like to show up to this movie. It's impressive, man. And but if anybody can do it, Jason Reitman, I guess, can do it, man. But yeah, super excited to watch that. And even just knowing, like you said, how iconic Saturday Night Live and how it changed the landscape, I think it makes people gonna be like, yeah, let's go watch that. You know what I mean? Like, very simply, I feel like it's gonna be like a casual W. I can't explain that, but I feel like people are gonna actually want to go see this, like, for real. And so that's my hope, anyways. So yeah, super excited to see Saturday Night. And now we have arrived at the number one spot. Wow. Um, yeah, we have arrived at the number one spot. So, very easy, very simple, very obvious for me. But I have arrived at Joker Folie à Deux as my number one spot for so many reasons. first, I have to give the sentimental reason. The very first Joker in 2019 jump started our podcast. That is our very first episode, the very first movie that we reviewed, and we had a ball, man. It's a very good movie. Joaquin Phoenix wins an Oscar off of his performance. Just so much was happening when that movie came out. It was divisive. A lot of people were like, a lot of people were like afraid to go see it because they were hearing so many crazy things about it. There was some people were like protesting the movie because of the things that they heard about it and what it meant. And I was just so much, it was just so much surrounding the movie. It was just a crazy time, I think, to be any kind of movie fan or shoot a Batman fan slash Joker fan. It was just like, whoa, what is going on here? But it's a good movie. It means something to me, to my heart. Outside of that, I'm very excited for this movie for all the other reasons too. Lady Gaga's in it. It's Harley Quinn. They gave us a first look recently. I told myself I wasn't gonna watch it, and I watched it anyway. I couldn't help it. They are coming for Oscars again. It looks good to me. I love the music angle they're taking. I love the Harley Quinn angle they're taking. Joaquin Phoenix seems to be having fun again. I love the music that they're going to be embedding within the movie itself. The trailers are always good. I love how they play the trailers when we go to the IMAX. They play the trailer in IMAX. It looks fantastic. Even just the trailer, you're like, wow, this looks really good. I'm just excited to see it for just so many reasons, man. It has to be most anticipated, top of the list, man. And like I said, we started with Joker. Our 5th year anniversary will also be falling around the same time Joker Folie à Deux comes out. So what a way to hit a 5-year anniversary. I'm very excited to see this film.
Yeah, literally 5 years to the day, in which we will have seen it and talked about it. This is my number one too. Joker Folie à Deux. We've been talking about it for 2 years now when it first got announced and they were going to move forward with it. But just for the pure sentimental reasons of everything you said, looking forward to this movie. But even beyond that, I have full faith that I'll enjoy it. And I know that this is not necessarily for everybody. Everybody is not a fan of this Joker interpretation. Like I know people personally who just like actively tell me like I'm not with that shit. Like what are we doing here? We're giving him mental illness and all sorts of stuff. Like I get it. I get it. Like it's one of the most iconic and notable characters in fiction, period. And the fact that they took such a dramatic turn with what Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips did in that first one will rub a lot of people the wrong way. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet because this Harley Quinn ain't gonna be like the Harley Quinn you know. Like just get that out of your head. They are doubling the fuck down on everything that they did in the first one. Don't think you're going to get that Brooklyn accent. Don't think you're going to see her swinging a baseball bat or a big oversized hammer or she's going to be wearing those skippy skirts. No, it's Lady Gaga and Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix. They're doing something completely different. So I think people should just be expecting that. And if you expect that and you get ready for it, then it'll probably be a little bit more of a digestible experience for you because this is not like the Joker that we know. This is like an alt-world, different type of Joker. Of course, there's Batman tie-ins and mythology. That was even the case in the first one. I'm sure there's going to be stuff in the second one. There's rumors that Harvey Dent is a character in this one. But at the end of the day, they're doing something that's in complete isolation, completely removed. I mean, it's really just taking the IP of Joker and telling an individual character story. Like, this could be anything, to be honest. It could just be about two people in a mental institution who fall in love with each other. It doesn't have to be Joker and Harley Quinn, but we know that's not how you sell movies these days. They took a brilliant concept and said like, yeah, I want to tell like a really personal story about mental illness. Oh, Joker's available, great, we'll do that. And now Harley Quinn is going to be added to that mix, and so yeah, I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be an event. I think it'll be big, not quite as big as the first one, but I do think that this will get people talking and get people really riled up about what they ultimately do with both of these characters because it's going to be divisive, it's going to be jarring, it's going to be different, it's going to be unique, and that's why I love it. Because it is all those things and it's not something we've seen before. So top of the list for me as well. Before we move on, let's just quickly recount our list and then, go through the top 10 here of our top 10 most anticipated releases this coming fall. For me, number 10 is Megalopolis. Number 9, Wolves. Number 8, Gladiator II. Number 7, Blitz. Number 6, The Outrun. Number 5, Disclaimer. Number 4, Anora. Number 3, Mr. McMahon. Number 2, Saturday Night. And number 1, Joker Folie à Deux.
My number 10, The Piano Lesson. Number 9, Transformers 1. Number 8, The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim.
Rohirrim, yes.
No, Rohirrim. I'm so close. Number 7, Dune Prophecy. Number 6, Gladiator 2. Number 5, The Royal Robot. Number 4, The Penguin. Number 3, Arcane Season 2. Number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And number 1, Joker Folly Adieu.
Amazing. So there's a lot we didn't talk about, a lot we haven't covered.
Yes.
So let's go through some of these things that'll be coming out this fall. Just to, show a little bit of love, our excitement levels, lack of enthusiasm, whatever it may be. So we could just share thoughts on stuff that'll be out in the very, very near future here. This coming weekend we got Beetlejuice in the front room.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice is going to be massive. Like the tracking on this movie is insane already. The marketing has been incredible. They've done a great job with it. So it's going to be a massive movie. Will it be a great movie? I don't know. It'll probably be fine. And that's all I need it to be at this point. But a lot of people will see Beetlejuice. And then the front room, Brandy is coming back to horror. So that's interesting. I'm curious as to what that's going to be. I hope it's good. The trailers haven't done a ton for me, but I think it, hopefully it can be okay, but I'm just like more interested to see what's really happening here and what the story is ultimately about.
Yeah, I don't know about the front room either. Because they haven't given us enough for me to be like, oh yeah, like the premise is like, it's a racist demon lady. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay, this feels normal. But yeah, we'll have to see what else they give us. But I'll be here to support Brandy regardless. And it's A24. Hey, you got to check it out. Beetlejuice though. It's like you said, the marketing has been really good. This is one of those movies that feels like it's just like the demographic is going to be so wide.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what makes it so interesting to me is because everybody knows what Beetlejuice is. I seen somebody like way younger than me that was like, yeah, Beetlejuice is my favorite movie. I'm like, you know what that is? And it's your favorite movie? How did we get here? And one of the favorite things that I've seen recently, I forgot who said it. It was somebody on the cast. They were like, what took so long? I know you probably seen it. It was just like, we're waiting on Jenna Ortega to be born. I was like,
oh, yeah, Winona Ryder said that, yeah.
Winona Ryder said that. That's what it was. But yeah, I was like, that's a good point. But yeah, man, I just love how, they're just moving a lot of different generations with this movie. I think a lot of movies can't do that, but this is one of the ones that feels cool that everybody just can rally around Beetlejuice. I think that's
I don't know of many IPs, if any, that have managed to stay in the public consciousness without having a sequel for this long. Because there's only one Beetlejuice movie, but there's TV shows, animated series. There were theme park attractions. There's been merchandise.
Yeah.
There's been also I saw the Broadway play a few years ago, which was just adapting the movie, and it was pretty good. And somehow Beetlejuice has been able to just maintain all of this momentum without another movie for over 30 years. It's kind of crazy, but it also helps that this is like directly piggybacking off of the success of Wednesday, right, on Netflix. Like this is like almost a spiritual sequel to that as well because of Jenna Ortega and that effect and just like how massive that show was. So I can't wait to see how this performs. The Killer's Game, Batista's new movie. It's like this new action movie. Also, why am I blanking on his? Drew McIntyre from WWE is in it.
Drew McIntyre's in it. That's why they promoted it at Bash in Berlin. Drew McIntyre,
who's on the best run of his career right now, by the way.
Man,
just eating in WWE.
Troll of the century. Troll of the century.
Best villain that they got at this point. I don't know if it's gonna be good or not, but I'm here for Batista. I'm always here for him, and I'm excited to see him lead a new movie at this point, especially in the action realm. So we'll see.
Yeah, plus Palm Clementif is in it too, which is
cool.
They
reunite. I
haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah. They get to come back together, so that should be decent.
It's pretty cool.
So we talked about the Penguin, but also Agatha All Along is coming. This is the brand new Marvel Studios series. They're going to be coming out a day apart. Agatha premieres on September 18th. The Penguin premieres on September 19th. Agatha, where are you at right now? We've got more promotional material. We talked a little bit about it from D23. We know how Marvel and Disney Plus on television has sort of worked in the past. But this is a WandaVision spinoff coming from one of their better shows. Where's your temperature at with Agatha All Along at this point?
It looks good, which I think we've kind of assumed that it would. Again, we know in the past Disney, it's weird. Disney Plus shows, they'll have like, oh man, that episode looks really good. And they have another episode that's like, y'all didn't work on that long enough. But this one does feel like it doesn't do too much in terms of like, no, it looks good. I like the way the magic looks. I like the way some of the color palettes look. This is another one of those ones. It's going to come down to story, man. I think they have the visuals right. It's like, what are we discussing and what are we talking about with Agatha? Catherine Hahn is going to do what she needs to do. Aubrey Plaza is probably going to do what she needs to do. but what is the story? So I'm here for it, but I'm still not super excited for it, if that makes
No,
sense.
same. Did you see the story about Aubrey Plaza? I love her. She said she has not watched her season of The White Lotus because she couldn't figure out her password to Max, and so she quit after like 3 tries. She's like, that type of stuff really
um,
bothers me, and if I can't figure it out in like the first 2 tries, I'm abandoning ship at that point. It's so funny.
I believe her. That's just so her. She is, like you said, she's so candid and very honest about everything that she does. I love her
No, for
too. She's
sure.
great.
Super slash Man, the Christopher Reeve story, which is a documentary about Christopher Reeve. They just dropped the trailer for this. It's gonna have a really limited release. I'm sure it's gonna be on Max
Mm-hmm.
shortly after it comes out. But Fathom Events is putting this out on September 21st. Don't know if I'll see it then or on streaming, but I do plan to check it out. I mean, look, Christopher Reeve, like literally like our first live action theatrical superhero, really, right? And so an
Yeah, for real,
examination
for
on his
real.
life and just everything that he brought to the character, and also some of the personal stuff he dealt with. He had a really difficult life after he stepped away from playing Superman. I'm very very interested to see how they sort of showcase his legacy and remind us like why he was so important, especially a little bit a year out from James Gunn's new interpretation of this really
Mm-hmm.
iconic character.
Yeah, and part of me likes that idea of like before we introduce this new DC universe with a new Superman who was leading the charge. It's like, okay, let's remember where we're from. Let's remember what Christopher Reeves, the what he paid, or the road he paved for us. I think it's a really cool concept and idea to just remember. I'm trying to figure out if I should rewatch the movies before or after I watch this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm gonna want to rewatch them. I just don't know if I should do it before or after. But yeah, I'm really interested to see this as well. I think it's a good idea.
Absolutely. Never Let Go. We should talk about that. This is the brand new horror movie starring Halle Berry that's going to be coming out from Lionsgate
Yep.
this September. It's interesting. I'm like always here for Halle Berry, despite like some of the
Mm-hmm.
bad choices she might make. At some points, I'm always here for her. I like most of the things that she typically does, or I even appreciate it to some extent. She just came off of directing a movie for Netflix, Bruised. It was okay. But this
Yeah,
trailer
Bruce was cool.
actually has me excited, for this movie. It's a post-apocalyptic story. It looks like she has to protect what I think are her two sons, who were obviously going to
Mm-hmm.
be in the midst of very harrowing circumstances. But the trailer, man, it's really eerie. It's very creepy. There's a lot of
Yeah.
snake imagery, and I'm like low key scared of snakes. And so it has all sorts of stuff that
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. Really, really visceral, shocking imagery. And so, horror movies always can, sometimes be hit or miss, but what they've put together with the marketing so far has me excited for it. I actually am eager to kind of check this one out to see Halle Berry be sort of this motherly protective figure to these two boys.
Yeah, it looks really cool to me. We just need more stories like this, especially where the cast is hella black. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, why we haven't seen a movie like this before? It looks good. Like you said, I love the imagery. It looks like there is some body things going on in there with some, I don't know. It gives you like the ick a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And so I am excited to watch it. It does look good. Like, this is one of the trailers in recent years, like you said, from Holly Berry. And I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, it perks up my ears a little bit. Like, oh, what is this thing over here? So yeah, I hope it can deliver, man. It looks good.
Totally. Moving into October, Abbott Elementary will be coming back. Are you all caught up on Abbott with season 3?
I'm like, to watch like 2 episodes, but I'm pretty much
Okay,
here.
okay.
Yeah,
So I won't spoil the specifics, but yeah, there's things to address as we get back to
there's some things.
Abbott Elementary. Obviously,
Yeah.
everything between Janine and Gregory, like that is the driving
Hmm.
factor of this show. And so yeah, it's one of the best watches on a week to week basis on TV. So I'm sure it'll be great. They have not disappointed yet so far, so can't wait to see what they come back with the new season.
Yeah, bro, I love Abbott so much. It's just, yeah, it's like, again, it's one of those ones that like I don't even have to tell you I'm excited for. It doesn't have to be in my list for me to be like, yeah, no, I love Abbott Elementary and I'm very excited for it to come out. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. There's an animated Laura Croft Tomb Raider series coming to Netflix, which I did not even know about until we were at Anime NYC last week, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw some of the promotional material. But that's going to be coming out on Netflix in October. We're always trying with Tomb Raider with the adaptations. We're trying with movies.
Yeah,
I mean, they're always figuring out a way to adapt this character from the video games. And that recent movie that came out a few years ago with Alicia Vikander was
it's
it's
cool.
cool. It was fine. I mean, you can't do too much worse than the Angelina Jolie movies, which I
Ooh,
actually the first one kind of a guilty pleasure.
yeah, they're guilty
The
pleasures.
second one's like pretty bad, but
Mm.
that last one that came out was it was all right. But this new animated series, this kind of feels like maybe the world it should always live in if we're gonna adapt the story, right? Like an animated series probably feels more appropriate.
Yeah, especially if they can't figure it out. Even just thinking about how Uncharted is, and Nathan Drake is pretty much the guy Tomb Raider, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's literally what he is. And if we can't figure that out either, it's like, all right, what are we doing here? What's so interesting about all of this though is like the games are still bangers. Like every Tomb Raider that comes out gets like a 9 out of 10 on
Yeah,
IGN, like or like an 8. It's like, how are y'all still doing this? But no, but they can't figure it out in the other spaces. I don't know. It's really interesting. But yeah, it is what it is. But I am excited to see this though, for sure.
totally. Piece by Piece. This is the biographical film about Pharrell, but it's a Lego movie. This trailer is it's adorable. It's amazing. It looks so much fun. Incredible voice cast
Mhm.
here. I mean, he pretty much has all of his most powerful industry friends. Like he got Jay-Z to provide his
Right.
voice for for his character in this movie. I'm excited for it. I mean, Pharrell is like the one guy who could pull something like this off, something this like creative and leaning into the
Mhm.
ingenuity of who he is. This really, I think this really popular figure, obviously in culture. Obviously beyond hip hop, beyond music, like he just means so much in culture. So the fact that he's like teaming up with
Yeah.
Lego to tell the story makes, I think, all the sense in the world.
Yeah, for sure. And Lego content has just been going crazy, right? I mean, Lego movie, Lego Batman, Legos themselves have just been in a new light recently. Like people have just been buying the shit out of Legos. We got friends building Lego
Yeah,
Gothams,
it's
and
serious
I
out
done seen
here.
Lego Gundams, and it's just like,
The video
whoa, like
games are
Lego,
decent too, right? Like
they
done
are, they
they've
always
done like the
are.
Skywalker Legacy one was
It's
really
decent.
decent. The Avengers games that they put together are pretty fun. Like they just have a
Hmm.
really great handle on their brand. I don't know if there's any better brand management out there besides Lego. They just always know how to hit the mark on anything that they do outside of just making the toys.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because you also just love to see Legos. Like I remember even going to like Florida last year, downtown Disney, right? I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, it's the Lego store. I didn't buy a thing, but I was excited to be in there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something about it that gets you, I don't know, into it. Plus, there's this really cool young black kid. I think he's a teenager, and every time something comes out, he does an animated version in
Yeah.
Lego. That famous kid, he's crazy. I'm sure he's in here. Like I'm sure he hired that kid to do like half of this stuff. So yeah, it looks cool, man. Like you said, Pharrell, what a mind. So yeah, it should be a really cool
I hope
watch.
so. Let's get into some horror. This year in October, we have Terrifier 3 and Smile 2, two sequels coming out. Uh,
In
in
October.
October, we're getting the timing right.
Thank
We're
you.
doing it correctly, right next to
Thank
Halloween.
you.
Um, More people probably know about Smile 2. That was a huge success in 2022. I think it was the biggest grossing horror movie of that year. I love Smile.
Mhm.
And that's going to be coming out with the sequel with Naomi Scott. I'm looking forward to it. Horror sequels
Mhm.
always, I mean, very hit or miss. You just never really know, but hoping that they can lean into that bag. Terrifier 3, a lot of people probably don't know about. But if you don't know about it, I would encourage you to know about it if you're into the true hardcore shit. Only if you're into the real hardcore shit, because it ain't for everybody. It's a very specific taste, but this is rolling out in theaters, which I'm really excited about because I haven't
Yes,
seen those first two in theaters, and I think that they had very limited stuff going on with theatrical releases. I think that this is getting probably the widest release so far out of the three movies, but I cannot wait for Terrifier 3. I'm very excited for it.
bro. I'm just ready for Terrifier 3. Terrifier 2 is so good, but so crazy. What a wild movie. And it's shot so interesting. I can't even explain it. You have to watch it and see it, but it's like a, I don't even know. It's like a
It
soap
looks like, I
opera
was just about to
horror.
say, it looks like a soap
Yeah,
opera.
like a soap opera. It's like, how do you look like this? But then I don't know, man. That it's a really crazy movie, man. So Terrifier 3 is anything like that. I'm super excited. It's actually coming out during October. It's crazy. Now, Naomi Scott doing Smile 2 is like, what? How did we get here? I don't know how we got here. She was a Power Ranger. She was
Jasmine.
she was a Charlie's Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Aladdin, and now you're doing Smile 2. whoa, talk about a crazy difference. But I'm here for it. I like Naomi Scott, so I hope Smile 2 is good.
Definitely. Venom: The Last Dance, October 25th. The alleged final Venom movie from Sony.
Alleged.
Tom Hardy is coming back one more time as Eddie Brock. It looks bananas. It looks bonkers. Plenty of symbiotes. There's a symbiote horse in the trailer, a symbiote stallion. So that you're getting everything that you banged up for when you talk about these Venom movies. But they are, people love these movies. Like one of my coworkers, she was like, I love the Venom movies. And I'm like, that is the craziest statement in the world to me, that these very mediocre ass movies are just so beloved. But they are a good old time. I mean, they know what they are. They know who they're for. They don't take themselves seriously at all, and I think that's why we love them. That's why we enjoy them. So this one should be hopefully no different.
Yeah, I think they're funny too. I don't know, it's something. It's like when they hit, they're funny, and when they miss, it's also funny. It's like, whoa, how are you? It's like you can't really miss that. I don't know. It's great, man. But yeah, you know who it's for. It's like a weird type of campy. It's like a you know what I mean? It's like a weird middle ground of camp that's really interesting in those movies. But yeah, I'll be there to watch it. I will always love Venom. I'll always love Carnage. But these movies are crazy. I don't know what we're watching at this point, but I'm here for
Any
it.
chance we see Jared Leto as Morbius come back at this point?
Oh my God, I would probably get up and leave. I'd be like, whoa, y'all really had him in this movie, huh? All
How
right.
about the guy at Comic-Con when Robert Downey Jr. revealed himself and they said, oh yeah, we had to go get one of the greatest actors in the world to portray him. And as soon as Robert Downey was about to take his mask off, there's a guy in the crowd who's like, Jared Leto. And they put that in the official fucking Marvel clip that's on their Instagram. It's so funny because like he said it so loudly, you can't ignore it. Imagine Leto. Jared Leto was Dr. Doom. That would be tremendous.
The world would have been in shambles. The world would have been in shambles. The fans, we wouldn't have been able to handle it. It would have been bad.
It would have been really, really bad. Let's go to November. Red One, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Chris Evans. What are you about to?
I'm not saying anything.
About to defend this movie?
Oh
my
no,
God.
I'm not about to defend it.
God, I think that this is going to be awful. I think that this is a train wreck waiting to happen. Firstly, what's important to know, this is getting a full-fledged theatrical release. I thought that this was a streaming-only movie.
It is?
Oh, yeah. It's coming out in theaters, like full-wide theatrical release. This is no longer just Prime Video play, which I don't know when that decision was made, but it was made recently because they are playing those trailers for sure. Look, The Rock's been talking about this movie for years now. He keeps using language like this is going to kickstart the new Red One franchise, cinematic universe. I mean, all sorts of just conversation where it's like we are getting way ahead of ourselves. And then the trailer comes out and it looks just as bad as you think it would. Looks like those really fake carbon copy streaming CGI movies like Red Notice and The Gray Man, both ironically, which starred Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Chris Evans respectively. But now they're teaming up here. And I don't know. And I'm not even sure if you read or heard about this. I think we'll probably talk about it more when the movie comes out, but there was a whole bunch of conversation around Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's behavior on set behind the making of this movie. Apparently some very unprofessional behavior in terms of tardiness and what he would require people to do, all sorts of just stuff. A really crazy report. It's from the Wrap. If people want to go check it out, I mean, it's a big indictment on him if it turns out to be true at all. But I think that this is it's gonna bomb and it's gonna be awful. I have no expectations for this whatsoever.
I can't believe they're putting it in theaters. That's like seems like such a bad. But I guess they're like, we have The Rock and Chris Evans. Let's put it in like I get
and they
that,
probably spent a shit ton of money on it too. So I guess they want to get something out of it. But
I mean, there was like snowmen, big buff snowmen fighting. He got like smacked by like a demon looking. I don't know what's happening, but it just does not look good. Like I just don't know why they thought this was. I don't know. This just doesn't look good. I'm here for Lucy Liu though. That's why I'm seeing the movie. I'm gonna watch it. I'm like, oh, there goes Lucy Liu, and then she's gonna be gone. I'm gonna be sad
Look,
again. But yeah,
Lucy Liu,
that's
who still looks extraordinary. I mean, she's
looks
just
fantastic.
fantastic. Yeah, that's really the only saving grace. Wicked, we briefly just touched on it. It's going to be one of the biggest
Yes,
movies of the
this.
season. I mean, every time this trailer comes on before these movies, people are like cheering for the trailer and
Mm-hmm.
clapping.
They clap.
People are
Mm-hmm.
ready for this movie. And I think the thing about Wicked is that because it's been on Broadway for so long, like a lot of people who've seen it have seen it like 2, 3, 4, 5 times at this point. Like people have a,
Mm-hmm.
a strong attachment to it. So the audience is going to show up and show out for Wicked, no doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm to be honest, this was one of the movies that I was like, I wish I had an extra spot for, because what makes Wicked so crazy is Cynthia Erivo. I that girl can
Oh yeah.
sing. And I don't think people like even understand who we have like on the precipice of this, man. Like that girl can sing. Ariana Grande can sing. Like I think we're missing how good the music is really about to be in that movie. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for Wicked myself, man. I still haven't seen a Broadway play. I have to go watch it before it comes out. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for that movie.
And
Actually,
also John Chu, the director, who he
John
knows what he's
Chu,
doing in this realm. He did In the Heights, he did Crazy Rich Asians. Like he's really
one of
good.
my favorite
He's really good
movies.
with these types of
Mm-hmm.
stories. I'm reading his book right now. It's pretty good viewfinder. If people want to check it out, he
Mm-hmm.
has a crazy story in his trajectory of Hollywood. Who's managed to just become a part of like some of the biggest films. When he gets behind them and releases them. But this is going to be his biggest so far. And people should remember it's a part one. It's going to end on a relative cliffhanger. There's going to be more to come to look out for. What else should we talk about here? Oh, I guess the other big like movie of November, huge, massive, incoming. Speaking of The Rock, Moana 2 is on its way, which is going to be coming out around Thanksgiving. Now, here's the thing. This movie was originally a
Mm-hmm.
TV series, and so they were fashioning it for Disney Plus. Somewhere along the way, I'm sure Bob Iger got back into power and said, "The fuck? No, we're making money in theaters. This is one of our biggest properties." So they've reshaped it and retooled it into a movie. That is my one aspect of hesitation. I got to be honest. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be big
Mm-hmm.
regardless. It'll obviously be
Mm-hmm.
huge. We've talked about how Moana on Disney Plus consistently is the most watched thing on that platform. It's just
Yeah.
grown in its legend and popularity. I I won't be surprised if this rivals Inside Out 2 as being the biggest movie of the year. Like I would not be surprised. But my only hesitation is the fact that this was meant to be a TV series. Oh, and also
Mm-hmm.
I can't Lin Manuel Miranda is not involved either. Like that's a red
Oh.
flag. He's taking his talents over to Mufasa, right? And so him not doing the music is also another red flag. So those are two things I think to be concerned about in terms of quality. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how much that'll matter when it comes times for the release because I think people are just going to eat this up, obviously, because it's just such a popular film for the time it came out, and of course, ever since it debuted on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get that, especially without Lin-Manuel Miranda. I didn't know he wasn't returning. Actually, that's an interesting detail. That I don't know, just changes things for sure, right? Like to me, the only reason Encanto became anything is because Lin-Manuel
Yeah, the music,
Miranda
bro, it's
was
crazy.
over there cooking. Yeah, it was over there cooking. So they're gonna have to. Yeah, I hope they get it together. I'm sure they'll be fine. 'Cause I think they do have a couple of the original composers still, hopefully. But yeah, yeah, I hope they, yeah, I don't know how to feel because Moana is such a banger, and sometimes it's one of those ones where it's like if you don't get all the pieces together, are we good? Like if it, and I just hope it's good. I really do. But I'm still hopeful for it. I'll still be there. I still am. I think excited for it, but still also a little apprehensive by the way this whole thing came together, just a little bit. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Moving on to December, we've already talked about Skeleton Crew a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
Y2K, new movie coming out from A24. They just dropped a trailer for this. Uh,
fun
I'm
trailer.
here for it. The trailer was
Fun
great.
trailer. Mm-hmm.
This speaks to me in my youth. I mean, Y2K obviously was a thing at the turn of the millennium, so they're playing into that. They're doing sort of a coming of age comedy, in the middle of New Year's Eve, 1999. Another relatively recent period piece. So not much to say there, but I'm looking forward to it, and it gives me all the vibes that I expected out of this type of movie.
Yeah, it's a crazy trailer, man. But it looks good. We were just talking about kind of what is it? Coming of age films, but it's so specific to Y2K and everything happening at that time though that I can't wait for to just go back and be like, whoa, what is this movie? Or are they reminding me of something I forgot about? It's definitely a nostalgia trip. I think they're gonna try to send us on with that film. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that as well.
No doubt. Now, the next one I am purely excited for just based on the title, Night Bitch, starring Amy Adams. You got me. You've won. You
You
have
got me.
me. I'm totally in for it. Night Bitch is an incredible, incredible title. But it's based on a novel. This is based on a book from 2021. And I don't really know anything about the story, and I'm going to leave it that way. I know it's going
Mhm.
to premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival in like days, in a few days here. But Searchlight is releasing this in December. Very, very reputable distribution company. Have a lot of faith in them and the taste that they have. But Amy Adams, she's a terrific actress, but she's been on a cold streak for a
I
while
bet.
now. She's been ice cold, and I don't want that for her. I want her to get back to her glory days. She's not like my favorite, but she definitely had a run where she was a part of like some of the best movies in the respective years that they came out,
Mhm.
but she's just not been picking great movies as of late. I know Dear Evan Hansen was just, I mean, just not good. The Woman in the Window, we talked about that on the pod.
Oh my
That
god,
was
that movie
that was
there
abysmal. That was really bad.
make you want to fight
That was
somebody.
really bad. And I never saw it, but I don't think a lot of people liked Hillbilly Elegy. Yeah, the last thing I guess I liked her in was
Mm.
Vice, and it was less about her and it was more about what Christian Bale was doing in that movie. So I just want to see her kind of return to form, really, and maybe Night
Yeah.
Bitch is the movie. I wouldn't have called that for Amy Adams, but a movie called Night Bitch. Look, if they can nail it, then I'll be here for it.
Yeah, maybe it's just time for her to, switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Do something different. Man, like you said, it's been just such a rocky road for her. It was funny about He'll Be Elegy. I remember somebody saying something good about it, but I remember it coming out and being like, "No, that movie's not good at all." But I feel like I got nominated for something. I don't know. That
Glenn
movie
Close
was
was nominated for her performance, but
Glenn Close was
yeah, but I think that
nominated.
that
Okay.
was it that year, which I know a lot of people were shocked by because people were like, "That was just not a good movie." But maybe Glenn Close
Yeah,
turned
like
in a,
why are
a
we
pretty solid
nominated?
performance. I'm not sure.
That's probably what it is. But yeah, man. Yeah, I like her. Like you said, she's never been my favorite, but of course, Arrival, one of my favorite movies, great movie. And then I actually liked her Lois Lane too. I was like, oh yes, you're
Solid,
pretty,
yeah.
pretty decent Lois Lane. Yeah, you did what I needed you to do. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to reform it too. But yeah, the title, 10 out of 10. Night Bitch. I'll be there just for that. I want people to ask me what I'm seeing that day. Oh, I'm about to go to the movies. what movie? What movie you about to go see? Night Bitch. What did you just say to me? No, that's the name of the
I'm glad
movie.
you
I'm not telling
asked.
you.
God damn it, I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. But yeah, I can't wait to just be like, I'm about to go see Night Bitch. What?
Yeah, definitely a
Crazy.
conversation starter. We've talked about Craven, obviously the Lord of the Rings. We just talked about Mufasa, the Lion King. They did drop a new trailer after D23. Better trailer than the first one.
Hmm.
Not a fan of these, whatever Disney's doing with these, but I got to be there to support Barry Jenkins. That's my guy. So
Brother.
I do want to
Hmm.
support his vision and what he does there. All I'll say though, just beyond the quality, I think that this is probably going to be huge. I think on the surface
Hmm.
it probably doesn't appear like it'll match the success of the first one, and I don't think it will. Like the first one is extraordinarily successful, and I'm referencing the 2019 version, not the 1994 version, but I do think that this is going to be a big hit, especially if it turns out to be a good movie. Like if we actually show up and it's like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't see that coming. I think it could take off and get people like really really excited about this. But Lion King, like what is it without the music? Yeah, it's kind of like
Hmm.
what music is here if there's music at all. I'm not. I mean, well, there is music because Lin-Manuel Miranda did compose original songs. A lot of faith in him, but what does that look and
Yeah.
sound like at the end of the day? Because I'm sure a lot of it's going to have to be original compositions for the film.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, they have a good music team. I remember seeing, right? Like it's not just Lin-Manuel Miranda. You got like Pharrell's in there and Hans Zimmer's in there, and it's like it's a lot of people to be like, oh man, this soundtrack is really good. I think, yeah, I think if we can buy into the look of the movie, that'll help for sure. I know that was a big thing for us for that first Lion King movie. And then what I will say the story has a lot of people apprehensive, or not necessarily apprehensive, being like, oh, so Mufasa wasn't always the hero of the story. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are being like, wait, Scar is wait, what's going on here? I think that's getting people interested though too. A lot of people are like, whoa, don't change that, and some people are like, wait, what's going on there? So I think they might have something there. But yeah, I'll still be there to see it. Love Lion King, always will. I just hope they can, not recreate that first one and everything that we're doing in there. Hopefully Barry can bring it together and as a normal Christmas Disney experience. That's all I want. I just want a cool little Christmas movie, and it could be around the Lion King, music good, and you leave and you feel good, and that's it. Just give us that, and I'll be okay.
I don't understand why. Like, why do we need to complicate our heroic aspirational figures? Like, why do we have to add these deep complexities to fucking Mufasa? Like, can I have something? Can I just hold on to something that's pure and sacred? Like, Mufasa is him. Mufasa's always been him. And now I'm gonna look at him like, damn, you're kind of shitty, bro. You did Scar wrong. What? Like, no, I don't want to think about that. The next time I watch the 94 film or the next time I see the Broadway play, I want to look at Mufasa as like the GOAT. Like, no, you're God in this world, bro, and that's who you always been. But now I guess we're gonna make him a fucking bully or something. I don't know what he's gonna be in this film. I'm not looking forward to that. Anything you want to say about the 688 Tyler Perry's next movie coming out?
Absolutely not.
It has Kerry Washington, which okay,
yes,
but absolutely. Maybe that's all we can say about it. I don't know if there's anything else to say.
Again, unfortunately, I'm part of the demographic. Will I watch it? Probably. I just have to. I can't. It's like something in me that's like, I have to see how bad this is, or like, what is he going to do now, or like now I'm not watching it just to be like, oh man, Tyler Perry put out another movie, cool. Now I'm like, oh Lord, what did he do now? It's like when you hear your child mess up in the other room, you got to go see what it is. You got to go see what they fucked up. That's what this feels like now. It's like, oh, okay, what did you do? Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
For what it's worth, and I don't know if it's worth much considering him, but this is a World War II drama. It's not just like some salacious, dramatic, romantic story about a black family in modern times or whatever it might be. Like, this is actually a historical piece, and so perhaps this is extending him to a place in which we can do something that is I guess serious and maybe something with a little bit more weight to it. But time will tell. We'll see when it comes out. Last thing here is Creature Commandos, which is going to premiere at some point in December. No date, but that's technically the first project kicking off James Gunn's new DCU. Even before Superman, before anything else, we're going to get this Creature Commando series that's going to be dropping on Max's animated series. He completed it a while ago. I think he wrote all the episodes, has a pretty talented voice cast. Any thoughts on Creature Commandos? Excited, not excited about just like what it might mean for the new DCU?
Yeah, it's just cool. I think to see different characters. I think as a team, we've gotten a lot of saturation for a lot of characters over the years. Suicide Squad and Justice League, Avengers, all these other teams. That it'll be refreshing to be like, Creature Commandos, who are these people? And a lot of people really don't know who they are and what they do. I think it's cool. Amanda Waller's in it. It's like, oh, we get to see some more asshole Amanda Waller stuff. But I think that's important towards potentially establishing this new DCU. So this, like you said, this will set the tone. And yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I think it'll be cool.
No doubt about it. Well, folks, those are all of our thoughts on the upcoming fall movie and television season. Hit us up and let us know what you're excited about, what you're looking forward to, what you're hesitant or skeptical about, and let us know what you think of our choices.